18 matches, 9 wins, 9 losses. Let's see how we go today. First opponent up today, I'm looking at the potential for the Psychic Terrain for the Indeedee and perhaps that Expanding Force, which has done me damage in the past, and perhaps the Whimsicott. I'm kind of thinking perhaps I go with the Ho-Oh first, and the Aegislash, and obviously go for the Luxray, and then the Togekiss. So I leave the Regidrago at home because I think it's probably not going to be quite so useful in this match. May not be able to protect it quite so easily. So here we go, the Indeedee coming out as I thought probably would be the case in the Lunala. So I'm going to want to try and do some damage to break that Shadow Shield on the Lunala, and just going to go for a thinking of going for the Shadow Sneak this turn, just to break that Shadow Shield and protect the Ho-Oh for this one turn, just to see what we get. So that's good to know. They're going to be using the Follow Me, and of course that means Aegislash's stance change is basically useless, blocked by the Psychic Terrain. But what's good is that the Lunala with the herb has wasted its herb because it tries to attack the Ho-Oh. So that was partly used again, forgot to say, but that's why I used that Protect there. So now I'm safe to go into the Lunala, and I'm thinking, well, let's just go into it double and try and take it out. So I'm expecting, of course, to Follow Me, so I think, well, let's go for it. We'll take this thing out. Now I'm used to using the Follow Me, and obviously I get the Follow Me used against me this time. So Aegislash obviously not going to withstand that. Probably a bit too aggressive there with the Aegislash. Should have gone back into the kind of defensive mode there. That certainly would have protected it for that turn. So now I've got my own Togekiss, so I'm expecting the Follow Me again, but I'm going to go for the Follow Me on the Togekiss and redirect. So it's double Follow Me this time. I'm pretty sure this Indeedee is going down, and although I lost the Aegislash, not very sensibly for doing nothing, they're really, equally I've got rid of their. In fact, that would have been very good to have the Aegislash at that point, because I potentially could have used a Wide Guard. So now they've got the Expanding Force, and they're sending out the Milotic, which is going to be a threat to the Ho-Oh. But I just decided let's plough on and go for it, to actually go for an attack on both. So a good damage, even though it's got that shield, thanks to the critical hit and a burn, which obviously isn't going to be a huge difference maker, but I kind of realised there's no point going with the Togekiss to use the Follow Me, because I've obviously got the Expanding Force, and Ho-Oh goes down there from the Skull. So I've just got my Luxray left. Not looking great situation really. They've still got 3, I've only got 1. And of course Milotic's competitive boost comes up there. So as you can see, it's not going well at all really. And I've got to try and take out this Lunala, even though I've got the super effect on Milotic, because I'm expecting that either to switch out to Protect, and the Lunala now to go for the Dynamax just to try and take me out there. So that's far in this game, just not used that Aegislash well, been too aggressive with it really. Although that is one of the weaknesses of Aegislash, although it's excellent for sneakily popping out and knocking people down or doing that last bit of damage. It's kind of, once it's come out of its shield form and it's not using its Wide Guard, it's not always that great utility. But coming back into it here, as you can see, the Max Lightning, they were expecting it to go into the Milotic, so they protect, but in fact it goes into the Lunala, so my correct prediction means no damage that turn. Another Max Lightning now, and obviously the Palkia is almost certainly going to be the one that's going to Dynamax now. I was expecting the Lunala, but of course like to the Palkia now, and I'm expecting that Milotic, I should be able to take it out later on with a non-Dynamax move, because I've got that super effective advantage over it. I'm not expecting its moves to be able to do that much damage to me. So here we go, the Max Lightning in the electric terrain, over half. So if I can survive this 2 hits, I'm likely to take them out. Max Geyser takes him down to 53. And of course, adds the rain, and the Skull comes in and takes Luxray down to 0. So perhaps I could have won that one if I just been a bit more sensible with the Aegislash early on, but it was kind of a non-typical team compared to what I've been facing that one, and so it just meant I didn't quite know what my strategy was going in. In the end, actually, probably would have been better off taking the Regidrago and the Togekiss, because I would have got, you know, a good couple of rounds off of the Dragon Energy. But there you go. Just not knowing what to put out there, I think, was the reason I lost, even though I did have a bit of a comeback at the end. Going into this second battle, it's spread moves all round, so as you can see the Aegislash first, and the Luxray second, hopefully to counter that Kyogre, and then the Ho-Oh is useful, and the Togekiss again for the follow me, experimenting a bit in these couple of games with using the Togekiss to redirect away from other Pokemon, just to see how much use it gets there. Problem of course being when you're sort of using with the Regidrago, it can do as much damage as 2 Pokemon, because it can hit with the spread move, whereas other Pokemon maybe can't do that. Potentially a reasonable situation here. I've got the Intimidate out, I've got access to the Psychic Fangs for the screens, and of course the Iron Head, and so I think, well, you know what, let's just give it a go. We'll try and mess up their day. Thunder Wave comes out into the Aegislash, not really bothered speed wise. If it means it misses a turn, that's problematic, but not too bad. So here come the Psychic Fangs. Thanks for the damage and the screen going. Aegislash stance change, no screens, Iron Head. So very pleased with the strategy on that first turn, the use of Psychic Fangs. Now they've got no screens up, and you can see the Aegislash getting the extra damage from the Life Orb, which is just really great there. And yeah, a good combination. So now it gets even better, because we've got the lovely Calyrex, and I'm thinking, yeah, here we go, Wide Guard all the way, and the Luxray is going to Dynamax and really try and take out this Calyrex in one hit. I'm expecting them to want to attack with it rather than to protect. They're not necessarily going to expect me to, you know, they're going to expect to move first and do massive damage to me. So usually it works well for at least one turn, the Wide Guard. They do use a Protect, however, against my expectation. I obviously reveal the Wide Guard, which is not so good, and the Eerie Impulse. Now, I think my opponent went for the Light Screen earlier, and they obviously did the Eerie Impulse there, which means they expected the special attack to... they expected me to be using special attacks, which of course both of these are physical attackers. So I think the opponent mistaken there. So I know they're not going to be able to protect this turn, I reckon. Right, let's go first. Let's do the business. I don't reckon they'll be able to take me out in Dynamax with full health. So let's go for it and try and take out this Shadow Rider here. Taking a while to think about it, which is always a good sign from the opponent. It means you're putting them on the back foot. So of course the Calyrex now going for the Dynamax rather than the spread move. They know that, I guess they probably didn't have any other attack rather than that spread move, and they're expecting of course the Wide Guard. That is a problem with the Calyrex, I think, the Shadow, they don't tend to have other moves. So Shadow Sneak almost one-shots it in Dynamax, just shows how powerful that is. And sadly for his troubles, Aegislash is gone. They're obviously thinking, right, I need to get that spread move going. So Aegislash takes one for the team, and the special attack rises. Thunder avoided, probably wouldn't have done a huge amount, I don't think. and that's the end of the Calyrex and of course of their Dynamax. So pretty happy, doing well here. And I think, right, let's bring out the Togekiss, let's get some diversion going with the Follow Me. And the Thunderous, of course, has the Thunder, and it would be, you know, going to hit in the rain and the lightning terrain. But I've got the Sash, so I know that, well, I'm expecting probably the spread move of the Kyogre. And I think, are they going to protect, are they not? And I think probably the Kyogre is going to come in and protect. So I'm going to try and take out this Thunderous, which we'll see whether that was a good choice or not. So the Thunder obviously comes in, shows how bulky Togekiss is, that actually it doesn't get taken down to Sash. So there's no protect, you notice, from the Kyogre, so I could have taken it out in one, but equally I get to take out that Thunderous. So Origin Pulse takes out Togekiss, massive damage to Luxray, but of course I know I'm faster at this stage. So Ho-Oh's coming out, so you know, still in trouble because that Origin Pulse can do a huge amount of damage, but my Luxray is likely to be faster, so I'm going to go for that Sacred Fire even though it's not effective, and the Wild Charge there. So Wild Charge goes first in the Electric Train, takes down Kyogre in one. So really great battle there, showed how the team can work effectively against meta teams, even without the potential crutch of the Regidrago. I feel like I played well there, both in selecting my lead Pokemon and for the most part in my strategy and guesses about Protect. I mean, I went into the Protect once on the Calyrex Shadow, and I didn't predict correctly that the Kyogre was, I thought it was going to protect and it didn't, but even so it meant I took out the Thunderous. So even when my predictions weren't great, still managed to overcome. Really happy with the way I played that match and the thought process I had, and with how the team performed as well. So a good win there. So third battle for today, forgot to press record at the right point, so we're jumping in a bit late. Thus far I've lost my Togekiss, but in exchange I have KO'd their Dynamax Rayquaza with the Dragon Energy. So you can see there's an Inteleon that's already been weakened, and a Comfey, of course, undamaged because of the Dragon Energy. I believe the Comfey used Ally Switch, which obviously didn't help a great deal. So I'm going to go big here into the Dynamax. And I'm going to protect because I'm expecting they're going to want some vengeance on the Regidrago. So it's shown itself to be a threat. People tend to want to get rid of it. Obviously the Comfey with potential fairy type moves. So that's what I'm going to go for, and hopefully take out this Inteleon. They're obviously behind, so they're going to need to try and be aggressive. Not going to want to be protecting and that kind of thing. So good time for Luxray to come out and do some big damage. Yeah, he's been a very good Pokemon for me throughout the series, dealing out a lot of damage. Obviously not very good defensively, but mainly that's been against the dreaded ground type attacks, which of course are super effective. So the Ally Switch there. Ice Beam goes into Protect, and the Max Lightning is still going to do good damage to Comfey, and in fact takes it out in one. So I can't quite remember why, but the Electric Terrain I think was probably already on the field. So here's a Darmanitan, which could be potentially quite scary, but I'm thinking, right, they've got no Ally Switch anymore. I'm not so worried about a low health Inteleon, so I'm debating what to do. Thinking the Darmanitan's probably going to be a bigger threat, but try and take out that Inteleon there. And again, expecting the Regidrago to go down, so I think, well, I'll just go for a Hyper Beam here. I think I'm going to get taken down first by the Ice Beam, which of course I do, but it's meant that Inteleon's had to spend 2 turns at Protect last turn on it rather than 1. And the Earthquake, big damage there. I was worried, but of course what you can see there is they also hit and take out their Inteleon, which means they take the Life Orb damage. My Max Lightning in the terrain is now going to go into the Darmanitan, and the Darmanitan goes down. So mainly really Regidrago getting me off to a good start in that battle, and then the Dynamax coming in to finish off there. Just they didn't, I don't think, realise quite how much damage the Regidrago would do to their Rayquaza, and that meant the end of the battle there for them. So a fairly quick one, and yeah, I think probably just the matchup and the choices of the opponent not to protect their Pokemon. Losing a Dynamax early was really what caused them the problem there. That means at the end of the day I'm on 11 wins versus 10 losses, so it's nice to actually be ahead for the first time, I think, possibly, since I've got into sort of higher numbers of games played. I think that first game really I lost because I just didn't have the right strategy, wasn't sure what to expect. Second one, didn't quite get all the predictions right, but generally the strategy was sound. And the third one really was just down to the Regidrago, which we obviously didn't see, just doing that horrendous amounts of damage with the combo of the strong move, the redirect, the ability that boosts dragon type moves, and indeed the dragon claw as well. So just did huge damage there. So again, continue to be happy with how the team's going, and we'll have to come back next time and see how we do in the next set of matches.